What's good, YouTube? It's J Coffee Talk, tapping back in with another chapter on this game, cooking the books, trying to hide the money, what revenue he does still have coming in. And, Priscilla Rainey, this woman who won this actual assault civil lawsuit against the game, trying to hide it from her as she's been trying to collect her 7 M's. And I believe there's still some other individuals out there who the game owes judgments to civilly. And it's a shame, man. Like, I'm always doing these videos reporting on how we see the game doing all this extra ish. I was just responding to a comment on someone who was like saying, because 40GLOCC just exposed the bots, right, that the game uses to run this whole fiasco that he's got going on. Like, yo, hit me up for reverse, or hit me up to get on this mixtape. These petty ass scams that he's doing, you know what I'm saying, that is just making him look more and more suspect. Like, his integrity as an artist, as a rapper, is just out the window at this point. And it all boils down to this, that he's been trying to hide the money. So I'm going to do my best to break this down. Y'all tap in the comments. Like I always say in all my videos regarding the game. Yo, I was a huge fan of the game, but he's just done so much sucker-ish over the years. I don't know. Y'all tap in, comment. Let's break this down. So what we're seeing now is Priscilla Rainey, like I said, this woman who won this lawsuit against the game. She appeared on this She's Got Game reality show that the game had on VH1. As y'all may remember, first he had Marrying the Game. They stretched that for a few seasons. Game was supposed to marry his then fiance. It didn't end up happening. It is what it is, you know what I'm saying? There's a whole nother story. But then they followed up with the She's Got Game. Like, oh, the marriage didn't work. Now Game's trying to find a new woman. And one of the contestants on this show says that the game actually assaulted her on numerous occasions. Now, for those, you know what I'm saying, who may be like, J Coffee Talk, why haven't you put the game on blast for that wicked-ish that he was doing? I don't know if that's not, like, I'm not calling this woman a liar. I don't know. Based on everything we've seen, I don't know, that this actually happened. I don't know. That's a whole nother story. Like I said, this was civilly. This wasn't criminal. Y'all tap in and comment and let me know if you guys think the game is a weirdo. There was some other point in time out there where the game was running around with this girl who was a teenager of age, but there were people saying that the game had been messing with her on the low prior to she was of age, and then, went public when she was of age. I don't know. That's what I mean, man. The game's just been wrapped up in so much sideways shit. It's just crazy with this guy. Like, he's really fallen from grace. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But anyways, what's going on now is Priscilla Rainey, who has been trying to garnish the game's revenue to collect her $7 million judgment for a few years now. I think since back in 2015, has now put a hold on the money that the game does have coming in from all this digital spamming and scamming that he's up to. And you see the first person to comment on this is 40GLOCC, who, like I said, he just exposed that those bots the game were using just DM'd him the other day. Like, that's how desperate he is to try to get what bread he can. The bots are DMing 40GLOCC. It's really looking funny style. So 40GLOCC shared a little snapshot from the, media outlets reporting on this, where it says the game's Cashapp seized in a $7 million actual assault case. And then 40GLOCC put his caption up and said, "Punk could just get in the ring with me and get manhandled, embarrassed for some money to pay off his ex-offender crime. This dude out doing bad, his rent due. He thirsty trying to do features for pocket change, panhandling verses for cash on IG. On God, a fool and his money will always part ways. Now come get this work, punk. On mamas, tag that bitch. I'm fresh out." So 40GLOCC, as I reported on, I'll share a link to that other video, just exposed that these bots were DMing him. And like he said, it's like pocket change. You know what I'm saying? You were a platinum recording artist. You know, now you're out here. This is what it's come to because you're running from all these civil judgments. Because if y'all remember, when 40GLOCC sued the game, that was something the game was running for the longest. And 40GLOCC ended up, you know, exposing. You could find it on Doc Hicks' channel. He had the recorded phone call from when his attorney spoke to the game's attorney to get the couple $100,000 that he owed 40GLOCC, you know. And, you know, speaking of 40GLOCC, the way Game handled the 40GLOCC lawsuit was kind of the same way he handled this Priscilla Rainey lawsuit. There were other lawsuits as well. There was an off-duty cop he sucker punched in a pickup basketball game. There was a DJ at one point he assaulted. Like, the games had so many lawsuits. And like with 40GLOCC, he originally didn't show up to the hearing. They gave the default judgment to 40GLOCC. Then the game appealed that. They battled it out in court for a while. There were reports that came out that said 40GLOCC only got 3,000. You know what I mean? And then they went back to court, and 40GLOCC got, I want to say, somewhere in the neighborhood of $200,000. But in this actual assault lawsuit, Game did the same thing. He didn't show up. They awarded the default judgment to Priscilla Rainey. Then they went back. He appealed that as well. They went back fighting it out again. And the judge got sick of the game's antics. He would miss court dates. You know what I mean? Then they would tell him to produce documents of all his earnings and revenue and things like that. He would show up and not bring it. It got to the point where they were ready to issue a warrant for the game's arrest, or to have all his assets seized if he didn't comply. You know what I mean? And in the end, I think that's what ended up, you know, contributing to the judge awarding the plaintiff, Priscilla Rainey, so much money, because the game was disrespecting the court, the judge felt like. So we said, yo, fuck it, we're going to give her $7 million. But then the game keeps not paying. So then she keeps going back to court and then saying, okay, because it's like it's a hide and seek game, more or less. Game's cooking the books, because, you know, she'll say, okay, I need my money. I need, you know, because getting the judgment is one thing, but actually getting the money is another, because Game just won't come up off the bread. So then she'll come and say, okay, this is seize money, garnish the money from this. You know what I mean? And then Game will, okay, boom, now that money is moved somewhere else. That's what the whole Prolific Records thing was about. It was a new place for Game to put his money. Which it ended up officially, I think, being known as Prolific Records LA, because Prolific period was Prolific Records. The original was owned by Faith Evans. It's just such a mess, you know what I mean? And then Boss Hogg and some guys from All Money In were not happy with the game for using the Prolific Records tag, but it was all just a place to hide money. Then we seen more recently, he moved money over into Whack 100's name, and there's reports circulating around that Whack 100 been bleeding him, taxing him for him holding his money. This shit's just crazy. So now with this new report here, what's going on is she produced documents. This was just on the 2nd. And what's today, the 4th or the 5th? And the judge already okayed it and seized it. She said, okay, he's getting money through Cashapp, doing all this online fluffery. You know what I'm saying? What little bit of bread he does got left, it's in his Cashapp. So Squarespace, which I believe is the company that is like Cashapp is through, that's what they, you know, ordered these new garnishments to come from Squarespace, from E1, which is you know, independent label, or it used to be known as Koch Records, now it's E1, and something else, I don't know, you know what I mean? So they can seize money from there. Now what Game will do is try to not pay her and move money to another place, like, because I'm hearing through this move they only were able to get another 2K or something like that. That's the numbers that's coming out. So this is basically what the Game does now. Try to take what money he has and hide it in places. She finds out about it. She goes to court and says, yo, the money's here. Boom. Then the judge will seize that, and it's just a big old mess. Like, this is what it has come down to for the game. You know, going out here, getting in all this shit, getting sued, and then not showing up to court. Like, it's a vicious cycle. And at the end of the day, I think it looks funny style and messy. I don't even know why Game even had that VH1 show. You know what I mean? It was like Flavor of Love or something with the Game. Nothing against that. You know, some people might say, Coffee, you're hating because you don't got a show where a bunch of women are trying to, you know, get up under you. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's all a mess, but here we go again with Game. This is his life from now on. Cooking the books, and Priscilla Rainey is trying to find it. And eventually, I think the judge is just gonna seize everything the Game has. It's a long process, but it is what it is. You know, maybe he'll end up going for bankruptcy, and you know, like that's the way Death Row Records ended up being lost. Suge Knight didn't show up to court and lost some kind of lawsuit and had to you know, declare bankruptcy. And I don't know, it's just a mess. But hit the comment, y'all. Let me know what you think about this. Stay tuned, more videos coming. Hip hop, sports, music, current events, all that. Tap in. I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.